some questions.
All right. Yeah, I don't know where we're going bowling yet, so probably just get that out of the way. The- I spoke out of turn. I shouldn't have mentioned that, but I was just maybe just hopeful. I was just wishing that we could find our destination as soon as possible. But when I do know, I'll let you guys know. But you know, looking forward to the last week here. Obviously, Thanksgiving Day this week, and so looking forward to showing gratitude for all things that we're grateful for, but also thankful that we have this opportunity to play this last game, and it's going to be on the road, and so we're thankful that we were get this win back home. In Live Stadium last week against Utah Tech, and so have our seniors not going juniors that victory that they can remember, but really looking forward to this next week and the preparation for the Stanford game, and something that BYU has not done is beating Stanford. So looking forward. Hopefully we can get that done. A lot of talent, see it on film. A really good, well-coached team. I mean, Coach Shaw is one of the best out there. So I know this is their last game, and they're going to find a lot of motivation and strength in their, winning one for their team and their seniors as well. So looking forward to the matchup, and we know it's going to be a tough game, but excited that we get to empty the tank and do this thing the right way and make sure we show up at our best in all three phases this weekend, and looking forward to that game. So any questions you guys have?
Jay and then Jared.
Hey, Kalani, it's no secret that Stanford likes to recruit Utah kids, LDS kids, got a few on their roster. Does that add any significance to this game for you in terms of recruiting and wanting to make a good showing against Stanford?
No, I mean, Stanford's not the only one that recruits, LDS kids. And there's a lot of good football players out there that happen to be members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So, and they've definitely got some. So I think it's just more about the fit and for the program and the school and the education. I wish we could take all the recruits that are members of the church, but we can't. So there's great ones that can go different places, and I think for us it's just a matter of us playing our game and doing our best, and not really added any added motivation than what we have going on right now.
Kalani, you mentioned the Thanksgiving holiday, and this is a week to be grateful, and you always express a lot of gratitude. That's one of your, just kind of who you are as a person. But after a season where you've been through ups and downs, like you have this year, had to see the kids fight through things, does that make you more grateful than some of the seasons where things seem to be maybe a little easier than it has been this year?
Of course, I mean the whole experience is a learning process for us. We talk about the culture, love and learn, and you learn through the good times. You learn through some adversity as well. So that's committed to increasing our opportunities to get better, and a lot of that is learning through it, and also being proud of overcoming some adversity. And we're also, I mean, you look at it, our guys, we went through a stretch where it was difficult and tough, and when you're going through some tough times, that's a good moment to really count your blessings still. The fact that they still get to represent their loved ones and the sacrifices that all their families made for them to be here, and they get to play this awesome game with great support, and a lot of people that are interested in what they do. So there's a lot of things to be thankful for, regardless of any type of situations that you're going through, and I think it's always nice to be reminded of that.
Mitch and then Kevin.
Kalani, I wanted to follow up from over the weekend. Why was Gunnar Romney not honored at Senior Day?
Well, I think because Gunnar, from what I know, Gunnar last year was honored, and I think he's felt like it was didn't want to do it again, and so that's pretty much the only reason.
With Houston Hamuli coming back this week to Stanford, or going back to Stanford, has his role this year kind of mirrored what you thought it would be coming in, or has he played a little bit less than what you thought when you brought him into the program?
Yeah, probably if you, I mean, you're looking at it, I imagine that he's got a lot of experience and was a captain for Stanford and all that stuff. But maybe on the field, it didn't go as much as he planned on, or even I anticipated. But I can tell you his impact and influence on our program off the field in the locker room and just being a teammate, amazing, a wonderful young man, and we are a better program with him being here, and so I know that he anticipated being on the field a lot more, and there's still a couple games left where he can do that, but yeah, the impact that he's left. This is why he's so valuable, is that he's going to have a lot of success in life, and just because of who he is and the fact that he's. I don't know if you guys have had the honor of meeting him, but he's just a tons of energy and passion, and a wonderful young man, and an honor for me to be his coach.
Jay and then Jake.
Yeah, Kalani, maybe I'm just trying to find a storyline or two, but as far as the Pac-12, you guys, you're 0-1 this year, play another Pac-12 team. Does that make this anything? Is that something you guys are even worried about, trying to make a final statement against the Pac-12 before you go into the independence or into the Big 12?
No, I mean, our focus isn't on that stuff. I mean, it wasn't even on the conference last year too. So, and you mentioned the first game against Oregon. That seems like so long ago, but I did mention I thought Oregon was going to be a really good team, and that they're proving it. So, there's good teams all over the place. I think you see a lot of surprises happen in college football, and some things that people weren't able to predict, and so that's what makes it so fun to watch, is that there's every week it's a different story, and so, but in this one it's just us trying to do something that the BYU program has never done before, and that's beat Stanford. And so we're focused on that, and we know we're going to be on the road, and it's going to be their senior day, so we're going to get their best shot. And you hear me say this all the time, Jay, but I plan on giving them our best shot as well. So I'd like to see it be done for 60 minutes, from beginning to end, and then we'll just live with the results.
Kalani, in the second half of that Utah Tech game, Jaron was going over to the sideline to get the calls, it looked like, for the play call. Was there something that Utah Tech had picked up on your signaling in, or something that led to that?
No, I think Jaron kind of mentioned it a little bit in the post game, mentioned the off the field stuff, where we're not able to get a lot of the signals off the field on the sidelines, and so I think to some of the frustration, the easy way to communicate is just go over there and hear it in the words, because we signal quite a bit, and I think there was just a miscommunication there, and it happened, and it cost us times, and we like to do a lot of movement at the line of scrimmage, and we had to kind of change up some of our play calls and had to quicken up some of the motions, and he wasn't comfortable with that. So I think he just went over to the sideline and tried to get better line of communication, and we'll fix that. That's the stuff that he was talking about after the game, that they're not able to get communication off the field to him on the field. So that's got to be cleaned up. And usually, I mean, we should never see those issues this late in the season.
Sean and then Jared.
Hey, Coach, you'll have to excuse no camera because I'm supporting my Welsh ancestors in their opening game of the World Cup right now, and I don't want to show the rest of these guys my biases. But
we'll let it slide this time.
That's right. No, I'm wearing my USA jersey. Don't worry. I USA. But going back to Houston Heimuli a little bit, because I know I've seen him play on some special teams, I think some punt coverage and that kind of thing, but what kind of has been his role on the field for you guys with this team? And maybe as a former BYU fullback yourself, a year or two ago, I think it was, that you last played, did you ever, have you ever kind of had some talks with the offensive coaches about maybe throwing him in there and being kind of one of those meat mashers like old Kalani Fafita used to be?
Oh, now you're pulling at my heartstrings mentioning the fullbacks. There's so many things that I can do and I would love, 10 fullbacks out there and one quarterback if I could, But in fact, we should just rename them all fullbacks. But in terms of the fullback position, I think in some of the situations that we've had, I think it's valid for people to question the lack of the presence of the fullback, and that's something that our offensive coaches have to answer, And that, as a head coach, that falls on me too. And being a former fullback, it's embarrassing. I like to see fullbacks on the field, and so we have 2 games left. Hopefully, we can get that done.
Kalani, we're coming to the end of the season. One of the toughest jobs for a head coach is staff decisions, and it's a results-based game, so you have to try and evaluate, okay, how do we look at coaching positions and what guys are doing what? Is that something you look at throughout the year? Is that something you try and keep in mind? Is that something you focus at the end of the season or after the bowl game? I'm just curious what the process is as you go through that and do that evaluation process with your staff.
Yeah, the evaluation process goes through the whole program, and usually when you get towards the end of the year is where you start to review all the notes and the observations that you made throughout the year. So I evaluate constantly and try to get a feel for what's going on in each position group and each coach, and also with what we're doing, support staff and things like that. And so I think all that stuff I have to be tuned into. That's what I occupy most of my time doing. And then, just trying to make sure that we're improving and that we're working towards, and we're all aligned and working towards the same goal, which is doing everything we can to make sure that these young men on our team are doing their best on and off the field. And that's my focus. And so I think I've mentioned this before. I'm committed to making sure that we're the best we can be, and I think we'll get there. And we're going into a new situation going into next year, so there's probably a little bit more urgency for things to be done. And so we'll evaluate that. And this is the last week of the season, so we'll find out what my overall I guess evaluation of the program is at.
Mitch, go ahead.
To go along with that urgency, Kalani, there will be, after the conclusion of the regular season, there will be a new element thrown on the calendar with the transfer portal windows. I'm curious, for you, have you already kind of mapped out maybe a big board of sorts of I know that you got to wait until guys actually enter, but just kind of already being aware potentially of guys that could enter that portal, and are you and your staff ready to contact individuals in the portal once that window opens up?
Well, I think the first thing you do is you look at your program and you see, there's quite a few guys that have to make the decision of whether or not they're going to be here, and if they're going to move on, and go to the next level and go to the draft or start their careers, outside of football. So that we'll get there first, then we build our depth chart and look at our depth there and see where we can improve, and look at our own guys that are looking to go elsewhere for enter the portal themselves. And most of the time when people enter the portal, it's because of playing time and they want to be on the field more. And so that's something that you have to factor in when you're making decisions. And I mean, I like to recruit from within first and see what we have in our program and then add to that. And so and then they have to be a good fit just because they're in the transfer portal. Transfer portal is part of recruiting now, and you look at it and you see, okay, with the success that we've had with guys that came from the transfer portal is because we would be able to look at them and then evaluate whether or not they're a good fit and if they're committed to doing what the football program is about, but also if they're aligned with the mission of the church and mission of the university. So we're always that's part of recruiting now. You have to factor that in and then see what deficiencies and where you lack some depth and where you can improve on. That's the goal.
We'll take last question from Jake.
Yeah, Kalani, so I guess it's kind of a two-parter. I joined a little bit late, but I wanted to know about your relationship with the quarterback at Stanford. I just completely blanked on his name.
Tanner McKee.
Tanner McKee, your relationship with him and also your relationship with Coach Shaw, those two individuals.
Yeah, I just have tons of respect for David Shaw and the coach that he is, and I've had a lot of opportunities to be around him. I can tell you he's just an individual that's just all class, and it's been really cool to see him as a leader, and then looking at the things that he does in our coaching meetings and things. I mean, he has such a high level of respect and his reputation from everybody in the football world, and so I've been really impressed with the things that he's done as a coach and the mentoring that he's done for these young men. And then in regards to Tanner McKee, wonderful family, great young man, tons of talent. He's NFL talent for sure. You can see how comfortable he is throwing the ball, and we recruited him. We wanted him here, and that's just I'm happy to see him doing well and making plays, and I think he's a guy that'll go pretty early in the draft. I mean, I'm not an NFL expert, but you can see the arm talent, you can see the poise and the athleticism and the ability to make plays. So just really happy for him, and obviously been really cool to cheer him on and see him perform throughout his career. But can't cheer for him this weekend, but I can cheer for him from this point on as he moves on with his career.
Thanks so much, Coach.
All right, guys, thanks.
Okay, next up we'll have Chase Roberts, and I'm pretty sure he's here. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll get started in a second. Chase, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Great.
Good.
We'll start with a question from Jared.
Chase, it's Thanksgiving.
Yes.
You guys have gone through ups and downs, and we were just talking to Kalani. I just asked him about this because sometimes these seasons where things don't go your way make you more grateful for the good times and things like that. How do you feel about that, and what do you see from the boys, as you kind of have an excuse to maybe be a little more grateful this week?
No, it's for sure put things into perspective, being Thanksgiving week. And, we have had a rough season, and but it's been awesome to look back on the great times that we've had. Being senior night just a couple days ago, we were able to remember those moments that we've had together with the seniors, with everybody. The early morning lifts, the going out to eat, the little things. Practices, they're rough, they're hard, but we love each other, and we're just so grateful for the opportunity to play as a team, to represent BYU, to represent our Savior Jesus Christ, and everything that we do, and it's been an awesome week. Last week was awesome, and then we're getting ready to prepare for another awesome week.
Jake and then Jay.
Chase, I know you haven't played every game this season due to some injuries,
Yeah.
but this is your first, full season of college football. I guess going into the final week of the year, how would you evaluate it for yourself?
I wouldn't take anything back. It's been such a perfect year, I feel like, for learning, for growing, for being the best, football player and man I could be. Having to battle some injuries and, having ups and downs. It's been a journey for sure, but I felt like Heavenly Father's hand has been in every aspect and helped me become the man He wants me to become, and also the team that He wants us to be, to represent Him and to represent, this university and everyone that is affiliated with it. So definitely a lot of ups and downs, but I wouldn't take anything back. It's been amazing.
Chase, obviously Stanford recruits a lot of Utah kids, a lot of LDS kids. Number one, did they offer you, and just number two, what is your perspective about Stanford as you go into that game?
I definitely talked a lot with Stanford. I committed early here at BYU as a sophomore, and kind of told them early that I was headed here, and they didn't ever offer. But I'm grateful for Stanford and everything that how they impacted me, pushed me as a young kid in high school, and I'm excited to go see the coaches again and all the players. And I was close with some that committed there, Tanner McKee and other guys, and it's going to be awesome to be on their campus and be able to just be around the amazing people that represent that university, and go, we're going to go perform and hopefully do well.
Sean and then Mitch.
Yeah, Chase, I'm really not trying to put you in an awkward spot, I promise, but I want to ask you a little bit about Puka Nacua
Yeah.
and kind of what he's meant to this wide receiver core, because you've talked about him a little bit through the year, and I know he's still got a decision to make about
Yeah.
whether or not he wants to come back for next year or not, but he did walk on senior day and that kind of thing. So just what has he meant to this wide receiver core, and what kind of a guy is Puka? Sort of the guy that maybe we don't even see all the time in the media, although he's a pretty open book, it seems like, in that regard.
Yeah.
But what kind of a guy is he just with the wide receiver room sort of behind closed doors, too?
He is one of a kind. Puka's been a great example of leadership, and you can see his passion on the field, but it's nothing, like what we see in film, in meetings and everything. His passion for the game is out of this world and nothing I've ever seen. So it's been a great learning experience for every one of the wide receivers and the whole team to see how much he loves football, how much he loves his brothers, and how much he loves BYU football, and especially. He's put his heart and soul into every minute. He's been here on campus, and I'm grateful for him and whatever he decides to do. We obviously hope he comes back, and we don't know yet, but whether he stays, whether he leaves, he's had an amazing impact here at BYU, not just BYU football, but this whole university. So grateful for him and what he's taught me and everyone else.
Yeah, Chase, assuming, Puka goes, because you got that Senior Bowl invite, assuming he goes through with what are some of your goals that you have in your BYU career moving forward, and maybe what can these last couple games do to maybe springboard things going into the Big 12 for you personally?
Yeah, I feel like, I'm just going to go play. I want to be the best football player I can be and a good leader to everyone around me and an example. So I'm just going to be me and go perform and, be that leader, that example to everyone. So that going into next year that we have people that are ready to go. We're going in the Big 12, and we need those people to stand up and be a leader, be someone who people can count on. So that's kind of my goal, but overall it's just just being me, and I'm gonna go represent this university and represent my family as best I can, and so I'm excited to show that these last two games, and then going into next season, prepare in the off season, get guys together so that we can perform at our best.
Thanks so much, Chase.
Thank you.
All right, next up will be Pepe Tanuvasa, and he is here, I think, so we'll get started once he's... Pepe, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Great. We'll start with a question from Jarrett.
But we kind of talked last week with the senior day stuff about, just your experiences and things like that. Thanksgiving week is a chance to, express some gratitude and have another reason to be thankful for the experiences. You guys have been through ups and downs this year. Does that make you more grateful for the good times?
Yeah, I just throughout my football career, I've really fallen in love with the journey. And that's been my favorite part about football. Obviously, the outcome, chips kind of fall where they fall, but falling in love with the journey has been one of the best blessings of my life, because it's taught me, the principles of hard work and doing everything within my power to prepare. And, I'm so thankful for football. I'm thankful for my family, and especially I love this time of the season because of what you said, right? The gratitude that's in the air and the amount of reflecting that I can do.
Jay, go ahead.
Pepe, you guys are bowl eligible now. You got Thanksgiving week going on this week. What motivates you guys to play well at Stanford on Saturday?
I think it's just our pride as competitors. We love the sport. We love what we do, and we love to win. And we pride ourselves in being excellent, and so that's what we're striving for. And so we're hoping that, Stanford brings their A game, because we're looking to bring our A game as well.
And then just as a follow-up, the fact that they're a Pac-12 school, you guys were really good against Pac-12 last year. This year you're 0-1. Does that add any significance at all, or is that kind of a nothing burger?
I wouldn't say it's a nothing burger. We love playing, all schools. We love, especially the Pac-12. They're a great competition and a great league, and so we're excited to play. We haven't had the chance to play too many Pac-12s this off season or this season, but we're excited.
Okay, go ahead.
Pepe, let me first say the beard's looking fantastic.
Thank you.
Second thing is, I wanted to ask you, obviously we talked to you last week, as Jared said, going into senior day. How did senior day play out versus maybe what you expected going in?
It was a little bit surreal. I was glad that they had they were honoring the seniors after the game, because I am a bit of a creature of habit, and so I do love our game day routine, and I love exactly how it is. And so it was great to be able to treat it just like any other game and be able to reflect afterwards on the 4 years I've been here and the many years that the seniors have been here, and on all the experiences we've had. It was great to see, my family was able to decorate my locker, and, I was getting a little choked up seeing some of the pictures of my dad and I when I was playing youth football in like third grade. And just, it's been an honor to be here. I've loved it every moment of it, and really, really excited for the last 2 games, honestly.
Mitch, go ahead.
Pepe, coming out of that Utah Tech game, do you and the defense, your defensive teammates, feel like you guys improved and built off of that performance you had against Boise State a few weeks back? Do you feel like you guys got better?
I think it was a mixed bag. I think there's definitely some things that we could have done better. One of the things I loved about our Boise State game was how hard we came out in the beginning, and I think that's something that we can improve on coming into Stanford, and something that we're going to need to do because they're such a good team. I really loved how we stepped it up in the second half, especially holding them to 0 points until that last touchdown.
We'll take last question from Sean.
Yeah, Pepe, this is technically an offensive player, so maybe it's a little bit awkward of a question, but I think he's played more snaps on special teams than offense. So maybe you can help enlighten me on Houston Heimuli as a teammate and what he's kind of brought to you guys in his lone season since coming over from Stanford, and maybe whether or not, spill the tea a little bit, whether or not he's mentioned kind of going back to his old stomping grounds and showing you guys where to eat and that kind of thing.
I haven't, I have to get on that guy. I haven't heard anything about, good places to eat, so I'm going to have to talk to him after this. But it feels like that guy's been here for the whole time I've been here. It seems like he's been here for 4 years. The influence that he's had is you just can't put into words. I mean, he's a guy who's always got a smile on his face. On the sideline, that guy has the most energy, I think, on our team. I think he might rival Puka, which is saying a lot. And I'm so grateful to him for having come here, because he's shown me a whole different aspect of football that I never even saw before. So grateful for him.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Pepe.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, next we'll have Joe Tukuafu, and I'm pretty sure he's here, so if you have a question, you can go ahead and raise your hand.
Pepe, thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
Joe, how's it going?
Good, how are y'all?
Good. We will start with a question from Jake.
All right, Joe, I think you were expecting this question, but we saw you drive a guy, 30 yards downfield in that game against Utah Tech, but take us through why and what happened.
I honestly don't remember that last shove. It was a screen, and I was a bonus guy in the screen. I really wasn't supposed to be that far downfield, but I saw that I can make that run and made the run and added on to Chase Roberts' block. we drove him out of bounds, and I don't remember the end of that. So I got flagged for that, and I watched it on film, and it was the right call. So the refs did good on that one.
Just as a quick follow-up, was that kind of in response to some of the talk going into this game? Some of the guys referenced it in post-game that you guys heard some of the stuff that they were saying.
No, probably not at all. I kind of don't like to play like that. But I came off the field and I said it was in the name of effort. That's why I made that block, and it was a little too much effort, and it was the wrong decision on my part.
Jared, go ahead.
We talked a little bit ago just about your journey and everything you've been through. Again, Thanksgiving week, it's an opportunity to be grateful. You've seen the ups and downs. What's this week mean to you, and what comes to mind as you express thanks?
It's another week. I give thanks for another week to play football and to attend Brigham Young University. It'll be the last regular season game of my career here. Many years here, and I've enjoyed every moment, especially as we wind down to the end of this career and this chapter here at BYU. I'm just grateful for the staff for always sticking with me and throughout all my time here, and their confidence and their patience with me as I learned how to play offensive line.
Mitch, go ahead.
Joe, what's next for you after these two games, Stanford and the bowl game? What's next for you after your days at BYU conclude?
I'll take a shot at the league. I'll take a shot at any league, particularly the NFL. I'll do the pro day. I think I have assets and the capability of playing at the next level. I have a background of two positions. I played three, if you include high school and playing receiver and DN. Came here as a tight end, and then I learned offensive line. So there's a lot of talent and a lot of time that I put into my skill set, and so I feel like I have at least something that I can pick out of the bag and prove that I can do it at the next level, whether it's offensive line, tight end, fullback, whatever I can do to play.
Jay, go ahead.
Hey, Joe, what will motivate you guys this week to finish this thing out strong at Stanford? Now that you're bowl eligible, you've already had senior day. What will drive you guys this week?
Just taking it like another game, respecting the game, and respecting it enough to respect our opponent and to watch the film and put in the practice that is needed. I think everyone has a Thanksgiving vibe with them, and so everyone will be itchy to play this game and spend time with family throughout the week, and just spend time together as a team. And so it'll be good to get Thanksgiving on this week, and then to get out to Palo Alto and play Stanford.
The fact that they're a Power 5 team, a Pac-12 team, does that add to it? Does that kind of keep your attention up, so to speak?
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of respect for Stanford. Very prestigious school and university, and very prestigious program, and coaches that have been there and have instilled greatness in the program. And so it'll be good to go in there and play a great game. And it's good to have Houston here. Houston tells us a lot of great things about Stanford, and so it's just good to have that connection.
We'll take last question from Kevin.
Kind of going off of that, just because this is the last Power 5, or could be the last Power 5 team you guys play before the Big 12, do you think that adds anything in terms of momentum going into next year for the program?
Yes, I think any Power 5 team that we play will add momentum to who we are and what kind of football that we play and our brand. And I think playing this will just set the tone for how next year could play out, and set the tone, especially for the off season. That's a big time where a lot of the players develop their bodies, and they put in a lot of time, and so it'll be good to end this one on the right note and against a very great opponent, Power 5, and so we're going to go out Saturday and play our best.
Thanks so much, Joe.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys.